graduates. You made it, and it was a long haul and hard, I'm sure, at times. And so I just wanted to say something. When I've spoken at a number of graduations over the last few years, and one of the things that we talk about is, well, you all got to make bread in my class. Those who were family members may not know, I came and we did a bread making class. We made bread and biscuits and all sorts of things, remember? And we talked about one of the principles, one of the active principles in bread making is that there's an ingredient that goes into the flour and into the salt and into the water. If you put all those together, you make something that's like clay. But then we add another ingredient to it, and we bring that clay to life. We call it leaven. The leaven goes into the dough. It's in the form of yeast, and the yeast actually brings this lifeless piece of clay to life. And we know it's alive because what do we see when this piece of dough comes to life? Is that it rises, it grows, and the growth is the proof of life. But what's interesting about it is prior to that, the wheat was alive at one time, and then it was harvested, and it was crushed and basically destroyed and turned into flour, and then through the process of bread making, it was actually brought back to life. It was resurrected, so to speak. And this is sort of like just an example of how bread has historically served as an example, a symbol in all religions and all faiths and all cultures as a symbol of transformation. And bread really is the universal symbol of transformation regardless of religion. And we know it, certainly in the Judeo-Christian tradition, as the presence of God in the world. But all cultures use bread in the same way. We got to do that. We got to actually participate in the class in this cycle, this life cycle. But the story doesn't end with just bringing the dough to life, because then the baker has to shape the dough, has to form the dough, has to make decisions all along the way as to when to shape it, when to take it to the next stage, when to divide it, when to take it to the oven. And all of the choices that the baker makes helps to determine the character and the personality of this dough. And this dough has a lot of resilience. It gets punched down, but it rises back again. And again, the symbolism is always at work through this bread. We can see how it symbolizes our own lives in many ways. But the most remarkable thing is that at the 10th stage, because there's 12 stages the bread goes in, and the students all know what those 12 stages are because we talked about it. But the 10th stage is the stage we call baking. And that is really the stage of final transformation. The first transformation was we took something that was alive and we killed it. We harvested it. We call that a radical change from alive to dead. Second transformation was dead to alive. The third transformation is when we take this living dough to the oven. And remember that the mission of the yeast, the mission of the leaven, is to raise the dough so that it can become bread. Its ultimate mission is to create bread. Nobody eats dough, but people eat bread. But in order for the leaven to complete its mission, it has to go into the oven, and when the dough passes 140 degrees, we talked about this in class, you remember, what happens to the leaven? It gives up its life, it dies. In other words, in order for the leaven to complete its mission, it has to give up its own life. But what happens is that what goes into the oven is not what comes out. It goes in alive, but it comes out dead. But it went in as dough, and it comes out as bread. And bread was the ultimate goal. The ultimate mission was to create bread, which then nourishes us, the people who made it, people who feed it to you. The bread is the nourishment. It is the staff of life. Now, stage 11, we don't eat it when it first comes out of the oven. We let it cool. And then stage 12 is the stage we call eating the bread. And you have to eat some of it here. This is stage 12, bread. But if you see this sort of journey that bread's on, if you can think about that, as we think about it and reflect, especially at this time of year, which is an important time of reflection for all of us, and a time where we reflect and actually give thanks for the opportunity for transformation. And perhaps this story of bread can help to enliven your own reflections as we think about transformation. Because what is this graduation celebrating if nothing else but the transformation of our graduates? a new opportunity, a new beginning, a new start, to take the things that you've learned, all the nurturing and everything that went into your training here, and actually do something with it. You're no longer dough, you're bread. You're bread in the world. So with that said, I want to congratulate you all. You know that we're all here for you, the school is here for you, all of the friends you've made are here for you. The journey doesn't end here with graduation, it just begins. And so congratulations and Merry Christmas, everybody.